Good morning. Another beautiful day in God's kingdom. Today we're taking a look at the book of Judges, and we're in Judges chapter 2, reading from verse 6. And this is what is happening as we read about Joshua and the children of Israel. And it says, "And Joshua sent the people away. Each of the tribes left to take possession of the land allotted to them. And the Israelites served the Lord throughout the lifetime of Joshua and the leaders who outlived him, those who had seen all the great things the Lord had done for Israel. And then Joshua, the Bible says, died at the age of 110, and he was buried. And the Bible then continues in verse 10, and it says, "After that generation died, another generation grew up who did not acknowledge the Lord or remember the mighty things he had done for Israel." And the Bible says that the Israelites began to do evil and to serve other gods. And when we look at this, you think to yourself, "Oh, that's a danger, a trap that I would never fall into." I would always remember what God has done, for me, and so on and so forth. But what is it that we actually find happening here with these guys? These Israelites, the Bible says this generation that grew up and neither, acknowledged God or remember the things that he had done for them. It wasn't really, I would say, that they didn't remember. I mean, the words were written, the stories were written, the stories had been told, and these were things that were, told and have been repeated from one generation to the other, from one parent to the children to the, and so on and so forth. So in terms of knowing the facts as what had actually happened, the information was there for them, but obviously they chose not to acknowledge that information, not to acknowledge what God had done. And it was a question of selective memory, like it happens even with us as well. When you're in dire straits and you're praying to God and asking God to intervene in your situation, God intervenes. And what happens? When everything is perfect and everything is going on well, then you choose to forget what it was that God had done for you. And how does that happen? It happens because, yes, one, you're comfortable in this new situation, in this new position or in this new season where everything is working fine, you're comfortable and everything is okay. And what happens is that you forget the pain of what you had gone through, and you forget that. And it's necessary for us to forget the pain. It's important that we must, because we cannot live our lives carrying all the baggage of, the past. And that is important. But there are certain things, and those things we must forget, in a sense, forget that pain and forget that, the sting of that pain. But we cannot afford to forget the people who brought us out of that situation. We cannot afford to forget the God that delivered us out of that situation. That is one memory we must always hold on to. And for as long as you hold on to that memory, that fact, and that understanding that God was the one that delivered you, guess what? You will never fall into that trap of forgetting, to acknowledge God and to honor Him every day of your life. And that is what the Israelites did. Yes, they should have forgotten the pain of the past, but they could not afford to forget the God that delivered them out of that pain and out of that trouble. God bless you. Have a beautiful day.